Teacher Talking Sports, what it does, what it do, how we live. And if you've been a follower of the channel, you know each and every Thursday I like to do something called Is He a Hall of Famer, where I take a look at a former professional athlete who may not be seen as a clear-cut Hall of Famer, but definitely has a case to be in. Take a look at how their career went. Make my final verdict at the end, whether I believe they belong in or not. But as always, I like to hear from you guys in the comments whether you think the player I'm doing belongs in their Sports Hall of Fame. So this will actually be the 25th episode. I have the rest in a playlist. You could check them out. But today we're going to do a former MLB player, an electric center fielder, one of the exciting players from my childhood. So the 25th episode of Is He a Hall of Famer is Kenny Lofton. Kenny Lofton made his major league debut on September 14th, 1991, with the Houston Astros. He played 20 games with the Astros that season. The following year, joined the Cleveland Indians, where he played from 1992 to 1996. In 1997, he played with the Braves for 1 year before going back to the Cleveland Indians from 1998 to 2001. In 2002, started the season with the White Sox, where he played 93 games. Also played 46 games for the Giants that season. 2003, played 84 games with the Pirates. 56 games with the Cubs. 2004, played for the New York Yankees. 2005, played with the Philadelphia Phillies. 2006, Los Angeles Dodgers. 2007, 84 games with the Texas Rangers before spending the last 52 games of his career with the Cleveland Indians. My guess is he's probably played for the most teams out of any guy I've done for Is He a Hall of Famer. And I'm going to get more into that in a little bit. But we take a look at Kenny Lofton's career numbers via his baseball reference page. 299 batting average. Man, you wonder if it was a flat 300, if he would be in. But 130 homers, 2,428 hits, 1,528 runs scored, 781 RBIs, 622 stolen bases. So, all time, he ranks 64th in runs scored, 121st in hits, and 15th in stolen bases. We take a look at his season-by-season numbers. So he made 6 All-Star teams, and they came in 6 straight seasons from 1994 to 1999. He also won 4 Gold Gloves, which came 4 straight seasons in 93 to 96 as a center fielder. With his speed, was just able to cover up so much ground in the outfield. May not have had the best arm, but again, anything hit in his direction, he had a chance to get to. We see a bunch of bold ink, and most of it comes in one category. As I mentioned, he was quite the speedster. 5 straight seasons from 1992 to 1996, Lofton led the AL in stolen bases, and 3 of those seasons he led the majors in stolen bases, led the majors in triples in 1995 and 1994, the strike-shortened season. He led the AL with 160 hits. That 94 season, he had his best MVP finish of 4th, but he actually led the AL in WAR. Of course, WAR wasn't a known thing back in 1994, but definitely could have had an even better showing in MVP voting. You see a 349 batting average, 948 OPS, and Lofton hit over 300 a lot in his career. 5 straight seasons from 93 to 97, also 1999, and even in the later part of his career, 2005 at the age of 38 with the Phillies hit 335. 2006 with the Dodgers at the age of 39 hit 301. Still in bases as well, as you see, 22, 32, and 23 in his ages 38 to 40, so remained a threat on the base pass throughout his career. Lofton had 6 seasons where he scored at least 100 runs, career high of 116 in 1993. In 1996, had 210 hits. While he was not a power hitter, Lofton did have a total of 7 seasons where he reached double digits in homers, career high of 15 in 2000. And I think part of that is what hurt his case because, at least from the voters, he played in what is widely known as the steroid era, where guys were putting up insane numbers and driving in a ton of runs. Lofton was your prototypical leadoff hitter at the time. Still had some good RBI totals. 73 was his career in 2000, but just not the home run totals. Again, 130 for his career, but as you could see, 945 walks, 1016 strikeouts, so barely struck out more than he could walk. Solid 372 on base percentage. So as I mentioned, his best MVP finish was 4th. He also finished 11th, 15th, and 26th in his career. So definitely a solid career, no doubt about it. We take a look at his postseason action. He played in 2 World Series with the Cleveland Indians in 1995 and the San Francisco Giants in 2002. That second World Series hit 290 with 2 homers. Unfortunately, lost in 7 games to then known as the Anaheim Angels. Now, I think part of what hurts Kenny Lofton was the fact that he played for so many teams. And he played a lengthy amount of his time for the Indians. If we actually look, let me check. He played in 2,103 games in his career. 1,276 of them were with the Indians. So well more than half. And I also forgot to mention, he was a one and done on the ballot. We take a look. 2013, his first year on the ballot, he got 3.2% of the vote. Of course, you need 5% to stay on the ballot. So he was a one and done, which is absolutely crazy to me. But again, I think what hurts him is the fact that he did play for so many teams. Maybe voters are wondering why he bounced around so much, but let's be honest, that was towards the ending portion of his career, and he was still productive with those teams. And he was with the Giants when they made the World Series, batted over 300 a couple times while at the end of his career. But there have only been a total of 11 players in MLB history, and think how long Major League Baseball has been going on, since the 19th century, that have played with more teams than Kenny Lofton's 11. And none of these guys are really Hall of Fame talents. Edwin Jackson actually played for 14 teams. Rich Hill, active pitcher, has played for 12, and he's actually on the trade block. So maybe he could add it to 13. So I think that may hurt him a bit. I mean, there's no reason that should make him one and done, but it's, possibly something the voters see. But we look here. So this is from calltothepen.com. Now, let me state, I do like WAR in the fact that, sometimes it can be used to compare players. I don't take it as, let's say gospel where, all right, this guy had 70 WAR, this guy had 62 WAR. The 70 WAR guy was the better player all time. You can't go by that. I think some people take too much into it. And I did a video on Don Mattingly, is he a Hall of Famer? And I mentioned how WAR seems to unfairly treat first basemen. But if we take a look here, calltothepen.com, so it mentions that he had a career WAR of 68.4 and a JAWS of 55.9. The WAR puts him as the 9th best center fielder, smack in the middle of some Hall of Famers and potential Hall of Famers. So the top 6 obvious guys for the Hall of Fame: Willie Mays, Ty Cobb, Tris Speaker, Mickey Mantle, Ken Griffey Jr., Joe DiMaggio. I think this was done in 2021 or 2022, so Trout might have even moved up. But Trout, of course, is going to get in. Beltran didn't get in his first try, but let's be honest, part of that is because of the cheating scandal with the Astros. He was a part of that team. There's Kenny Lofton at ninth. 10 through 13 is in the Hall of Fame. Duke Snyder, Andre Dawson, Richie Ashburn, and Billy Hamilton for Jaws, which averages WAR and WAR 7. So WAR 7 is a player's 7-year prime. Lofton is 10th all time on center fielders. That's above 13 Hall of Famers that are considered to be center fielders, including Richie Ashburn, Andre Dawson, and Kirby Puckett. Overall, among players who have been on a Hall of Fame ballot before, made their debut after 1901, and don't have a character clause issue. Suspected PD users: Pete Rose, Curt Schilling. Lofton's WAR is fourth highest among non-Hall of Famers and the highest among any outfielder. Somehow, this guy was a one and done on the Baseball Hall of Fame ballot. I think once as egregious as that, there should be some clause that you could get a guy back on. I know they have the Today's Game era ballot, which recently inducted Fred McGriff, so it's not like Kenny Lofton has no chance of getting in now. But my final verdict is that Kenny Lofton definitely should be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe I could do a video at a future time, like who were the craziest one and done guys. Like, that makes zero sense that they're only able to stay on the ballot for 1 year, because Lofton would have to be up there. But what are your thoughts? Do you think the great Kenny Lofton should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame? Do you agree that playing for 11 teams may have affected what voters thought of him? I mean, again, all 10 teams he played for 1 season, and Cleveland he played for 10 seasons. So, again, and that was where he did his best work. So I really don't think it should have affected his place in what I think deservedly should be in Cooperstown. So hopefully we get to see Kenny Lofton in the Hall of Fame in the future. But again, let me know if you agree or disagree. You can also let me know in the comments if there's any guys you would like me to do. As I mentioned, I have all of these in a playlist. You could check out who I've done in the past: NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm